Golden Slipper lead up, and it is the Darley Stakes, the Pago Stakes as it's also known, and Tickets is the favourite. He's $2.70.
Although you see Tickets on their fluctuations today, 250 to 270, you've got to remember that a lot of money's been already invested, including yours truly. They bet $3.80 on Wednesday, and that's where the money...
Hot favourite. After 380 was bet earlier in the week. He came up very short on the tote. 150 in New South Wales.
Rising broke very quickly. The Mikado was very slowly out of the stalls from gate number 2, and surprisingly he's back near last. And now Striker goes on around the outside to take up the running and led from Fitness Fanatic and Mazzini. New Day Rising is back next, and then came Tickets, followed by the Mikado. Fanatic and New Day Rising has come off the fence, and that pushes Tickets 3 wide. Then came the Mikado, followed by Shamash. Common Interest is back in the field. Looks like he's hanging around the home turn as well. And Romanus has saved a lot of ground going up to midfield. On the fence, he saved about 5 lengths. Into the straight here, and Striker led from Fitness Fanatic. Now Muntz has brought Romanus to the outside, and Tickets is winding up as well. Coming to the 300, Striker's the leader, a length on Fitness Fanatic. Tickets is down the outside, but he wants to hang in and bump with Romanus. Then came the Mikado. It's still Striker in front. Fitness Fanatic is trying to wind up as well, but now Tickets is joining in. Tickets is looming up on the outside. He put his head in front, he won the money. Tickets got there, won it from New Day Rising, who flashed along the inside, and also Strikers there in the photo. Then Fitness Fanatic, followed by Romanus the Mikado. Common Interest never handled this way of going. And then we got further back behind them, Mazzini and Shamash has finished tailed off.
He was as green as grass, but the quality colt Tickets has taken out the Darley Stakes, the Pago, the Group 2, and he's done it. He's still laying in a little bit there. Gave you by minutes, he won the Golden Rose and the San Domenico. So Stallion written all over him, Rich.
Most definitely a half.
In the run, Hugh, in the home straight, you had a fair deal of work to do, but the last little bit you were able to sit up on him and he won with authority. Obviously, the penny hasn't fully dropped with him yet.
No, he really is a raw talent, this horse. He's shown us from an early stage he's got a load of ability, but it's clear that he's still learning his trade, and I'm sure he's going to be, quite honest, a better 3-year-old. But
day one,
yeah.
They're tipping showers and rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in Sydney, clearing Friday, Saturday. If we get rain Monday through to Thursday, the track will be slow. This bloke loves the going.
Well,
I was thinking Striker. Yeah, look, he's obviously a nice horse. Golden Slipper? I don't think so. Like, he just wants to hang in here, and you was a little soft on him, but the figures aren't there. Like, he ran 1:11.3. He's come home in 35 1/4. That's just not good enough. We had 3 or 4. I think we had 4 1,200-metre races on the day. This is the slowest by far. I think Striker could be the horse you line him up with here, and Striker was beaten 5 or 6 lengths by Real Saga, who toyed with him last time. So, I'm doubting this is Golden Slipper form.
I think you're right. Geez, I think he'll be a beautiful 3-year-old.
Oh, look,
he just looks like
doubting the horse's ability, and John O'Sh exactly. And in saying that, you could make a case to say that this second horse should have won. New Day Rising. He's a raw horse. He got into a bit of trouble and very green. Had to duck back to the inside and had to pick himself back up. Good run.
And I tell you what, though.
Yesterday, I thought the second horse was the big run in the race. He hit the line well after New Day Rising, Gay's horse.
Okay.
To go around here in the Parramatta Leagues Club Stakes, or the Magic Night as it's also known, some magnificent fillies about to do battle, hoping.
But there's been good money for the top one. Number 1 Country Club, Caroline, somewhere you'd like to go, and just 10 out to 11. Tree Marquard is $7.50 into $7. Chip Morosi, as we go down the board, is $61. Shawnee Sheikh Mohammed Cup.
Now, just got an announcement regarding Common Interest, which ran in the previous race. It sprung its off-4 plate and caught it its heel. Also hung, stewards have reported, and it's now going for a spell.
Shawnee Girl went straight back to last. Country Club landed in front, now headed by Danzadol and Paloma. Arctic Light and She's No Doubt are starting to muster speed through along the inside. In fact, She's No Doubt will go to the front. Now settling just in behind them, Love Me Like a Rock. There's one off the rail at the moment. Morosi's with it, followed by Endeavour. Dragon Beauty, Shadow Miss, and Mark Court from the outside alley has come across to be near enough to last one off the rail. It's She's No Doubt in front at the 500 1/2 on Danzadol. Country Club's doing it tough on the outside. 3 wide, Love Me Like a Rock inside it. And Arctic Light getting a rails run. Then Indian Ocean, Bolocco Miss coming down towards the 250. And the leader is She's No Doubt from Danzadol. Now Love Me Like a Rock and Indian Ocean are starting to drop on them. Indian Ocean is starting starting to fly, and Shawnee Girl's coming right along the fence, and Marquardt running on it. Indian Ocean's the leader with 100 metres to go. It's Marquardt coming along the inside. She's flying. Indian Ocean is just in front. Marquardt lunged, didn't make it. Indian Ocean won it by a nose to Marquardt, and third was Shawnee Girl. Then we've got Love Me Like a Rock from Shadow Miss. Further back behind them next, we've got She's No Doubt Arctic Like the Loco Miss, and then came Morosi and Italian Beauty.
Indian Ocean has taken out the Magic Night, the Parramatta Leagues Club Stakes. It was lead-up races, the final lead-ups, and she's just ridden right out. Marquardt, a good run on the inside, almost stole it, but Indian Ocean has taken it out, Rich.
Yeah, Indian Ocean. Hugh Bowman's won both of these just from... He's got it, and Shawnee's, and there the English interim dividends on the Parramatta Leagues Club, the Magic Night Stakes. 2 Indian Ocean, 13.30 and 4.10. 3 markets.
If those photo finishes at Rosehill Gardens, there's no doubt about that. Hugh did a few things wrong in the run. Wanted to lay in. I had a look at the close-up when they show this shot. You'll see that she just gets ahead to one side a little bit, and you had to straighten her up.
Yeah, she just got a bit lost out in front, but tell you what, she's all heart, this filly, and she just asks it. She answers every question asked of her. I remember riding her in her first barrier trial. She's a free-running type, and she's not the type of horse that's going to benefit by being held up. And I drew off the track, and I said so. And
form yesterday is good enough to measure up to More Joyce, Real Saga.
Personally, I don't like the fillies form. I think they're a little bit too bunched. I just don't know if Tickets is a slipper horse myself. He's going to get back and need a bit of luck. And
the other horses that he's seen, Real Saga, More Joyce, you've seen them, Hugh. What's your opinion?
To be quite honest, I believe Real Saga deserves to be favourite, and he's the one to beat.
The trainer, Indian Ocean, it was never on the track, Ronnie.
Look, Graham, she was 4 and 5 deep throughout. She got a little cover approaching the turn and as they straightened, but hardly enough to, hers was, she did it the toughest in the race, and she come through and won the race. Take nothing away from her. In saying that, that's a tough run, and a tough run to recover from and back up into a slipper. I'm not so sure about this race being slipper class as well. Marquardt was pretty good. I'm a fan of Marquardt.
It's $16. More Joyce, Real Saga.
Yeah, More Joyce, Real Saga. There's nothing between them according to the marketing.
I'd like to be riding Real Saga. I think
It's the Doncaster, so he's had to go around here rather than in the Rider Stakes next week, and he's already getting backed on course. $4.60 now into $4.40. Good money for Solo Flyer. That is the favourite here, just ahead of Chasm, which is a $4.60 chance. In fact,
King Dakar, but the big money is all being for the Anthony Cummings train one, a number 2, Solo Flyer.
Judge Me Not is away, so too is Over the Wicket and marching with the King Dick Flyer for the Highland Race Colours Ajax Stakes, a Group 2 level. Racing, All-American dwelt slightly, but he's picking up some ground now. Penrickson came out running and went to the early lead. Going forward from that white gate is Solo Flyer. Marching's also on the improve, settling between them, but Solo Flyer's going to lob outside the lead. Marching taking the trail third. 2 to King Dakar long in front here. They're opening the field up, these 2 leaders. Penrickson led by 3/4 on Solo Flyer. They're the best part of 5 lengths on Marching running third. Then came Over the Wicket, followed by King Dakar. Another one outside it. I think it's Judge Me Not, just a little bit obscured. Yes, it is. It's going up past King Dakar now. Then Chasm, followed by All American. Playwright is second last. He's being pushed along to keep up, and reigning to win last of all at the 600 metres. And Penrickson the leader by a length and a quarter. Solo Flyer, who sat outside the speed in a solidly run race. Marching's run up behind them from Over the Wicket. Then came Judge Me Not. Chasm taking to the centre. King Dakar will get in tomorrow, and All Americans coming down the outside. Solo Flyer got to Penrickson and raced to the lead. Then came Marching. Over the Wickets running on with Judge Me Not and Chasm, but Solo Flyer's going well inside the 200. A couple of lengths in front of Marching and Chasm, and Solo Flyer, he's going to remain unbeaten this time in. Solo Flyer, punched out by Brown, goes on to win it from Marching and Chasm. Then Over the Wicket and All American, followed by Judge Me Not and Playwright. Then reigning to win, followed by Penrickson, and King Dakar's run a poor race and finished tailed off.
Isn't that great? Solo Flyer, he is well and truly back to his best. 3 wins from 3 starts this campaign, culminating here in the Group 2, the Ajax quality. In fact, it might culminate in a win in the Doncaster. You never know. Anthony Cummings.
He's absolutely flying. Like that. I thought he was most impressive.
He was indeed. You know those people through the glass there, Rich?
When the horse won the Newcastle Newmarket, that penalty never arose, and we just heard from Anthony. Hopefully they take note, and this horse cops some kind of a penalty and gives himself. It went along nicely in front, And your bloke wasn't too far up in the run.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned actually after about the first furlong. We drew a bad gate, so I elected to go forward and sit outside the lead or even take up the lead if nothing wanted to go. But when I drop him back and just relax him, he was quite fierce and wouldn't drop the bridle for about a furlong and a half. And after the leader got about a length in front of me, finally put his head down and relaxed good. But his turn of foot's really, really explosive once he straightens for home, especially under today's weight. Easy and one as he liked.
The mole, the Doncaster, it'll hold no fears for this bloke.
No problem, especially I think he's in the race with 51 on his back, so he's a genuine lightweight chance.
I judge me not and play right.
You can't beat winners, and Solo Flyer has come back a winner. Anthony Cummings has done a great job with him. He had knee surgery, stem cell surgery. He's had everything, and he's just flying at the moment, Mark. And he really dominated that race, chasing the leader.
Yeah, well, they did a lot of work early. Their first section was very fast, and he sat right outside the lead with a big weight. And I thought, those horses tracking up behind him, marching, and then would have just explode past the leaders. But, he broke the course record at Newcastle the start before, and he's in peak form at the moment. He might be an outside chance of the Doncaster with no weight.
What do you think, Huey? You've seen him plenty of times.
Better than an outside chance in the Doncaster.
I think I'm looking for another ride. He's a lightweight chance now. He'll get a...
Yeah, what a Doncaster we've got this year coming up. Listen, you play right. I'm not sure where they're up to with him, but he was very disappointing as we look at the betting for the Doncaster. One of the best Doncasters we've seen in recent years. Now, Heart of Dreams is not going to be there. Mick Price told us yesterday he's off to the Spelling Paddock, so there'll be no Heart of Dreams there for the big one. And what a good horse he is, Richard.
Tory Brown, now, that had a lot of trouble, Ron, didn't it? That setback quite some time back.
Yeah, look, he had chip bones in his knees last preparation. They've taken him out this preparation. He's always been a horse with way above average ability. And look, 3 for 3 this preparation. That was an outstanding performance. On that performance alone, you'd say he'd be fourth pick for a Doncaster. He locked his jaw outside a hot speed here. He was a sitting shot for horses like Chasm and Marching, who runs a strong mile, and he ran away from him. He's got to be a chance on that performance alone. He treated him with contempt. It was an outstanding performance.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, there's hard to find an excuse for anything behind him, is there?
Yep.
I mean, he's done it hardest in the race, perhaps, and come up with the results. So
he comes off breaking.
Minute start to go up the order of entry. That's the Doncaster mile betting. We can confirm that Heart of Dreams has gone to the paddock. Mick was on Friday, so Heart of Dreams comes out of that race, and I can guarantee Forensics will not line up in the Doncaster. He's going to go to the Queen of the Turf next week, and we'll wait and see after that, but definitely not in that race. There's Solo Flyer at $21.
I have to have a giggle.
It's a terrific race.
I'd have to have a giggle. Anthony, if Anthony's saying...
The field is in the yard for this Group 1 for the 3-year-olds. A fascinating contest. Quite an open betting race too. Metal Bender, of course, he won the Randwick Guineas. He is around $4.60 at this stage. He's just ahead of Rock Kingdom.
Derby winner, 41 into $31. Number 3, Metal Bender, $4.40 favourite. Cayman's out to make that Metal Bender $4.60 equal favourite. Cayman's out to $5. Sousa at $14. Preeminence at $26. Rock Kingdom $5 into $4.60 equal favourite with Metal Bender. Tabeek $6 into $5.50. Rhino Chaser at $17, $1 now Rebel Raider. Metal Bender's been $3.80 out to $5, just back into $4.80 now. Cayman's $5 to $4.60. Sousa $13.14 back into $13. Preeminence at $26. The favourites Rock Kingdom $5 into $4.40. Number 8 Tabeek's the Sporting Bet Australian market move. We'll get back to it. 6 into $4.80. Rhino
back there off and racing. Rhino Chaser came out poorly. He's missed the start by about 4 lengths. Rich Endowment was well into stride. Rock Kingdom on the insides going up to join him early on, and Roman Emperor racing in a more forward spot today goes up to third. Sousa and the Z-back are rolling forward wide on the track, and then came Rebel Raider, who's going to slot into a nice spot just in behind the leaders. Metal Bender racing a bit closer today as well. It's going to settle down about midfield, followed by Tabeek, and then came Preeminence as last of all. About 900 to run, and the leader is the Z-back. A half a length on Sousa, running second, 2 lengths to Roman Emperor. Metal Bender up fourth on the inside, and then we've got Rich Endowment behind them. Next is Rock Kingdom. Coniston Bluebird's already being pushed along at that point, and then came Tabeek on the outside of Rebel Raider. Cayman is now taken towards the centre of the track, and he's about to wind him up from Rhino Chaser, and Preeminence last of all. Sousa pours the pressure on now to go up and hit the lead as they turn for home in the Dubai Rosehill Guineas. Zee back is running second. Roman Emperor comes up on the outside. Metal Bender only a length and a half away. Then Rock Kingdom to beat coming down the outside with Caymans. The leader Sousa from Roman Emperor. Rock Kingdom on the outside trying to get to the Metal Bender coming up on the inside. And then Caymans down the outside. Sousa's just got the lead. Rock Kingdom is about to pounce on the outside and Metal Bender along the rail. Rock Kingdom, Sousa and Metal Bender. Three of them hit the line locked together. Give it to Metal Bender. I think the inside may have just got their Metal Bender from either Rock Kingdom or Sousa. Then Caymans followed by Roman Emperor to beat. Further back, Coniston Bluebird. Then the Z-back Rhino Chaser, Preeminence, Rebel Raider.
Because if maybe Metal Bender is backed up, is Randwick Guineas win with a win here in the Rosehill Guineas. It is a photo 5 into 440. Let's see this photo as quickly as we can. Sousa might have got second and maybe Rock Kingdom third. Let's see as they get to the line and then we'll have a look at this all-important photo after the running of the Dubai Rosehill Guineas. It does look, it is Metal Bender and I would say possibly Sousa.
With us, Randwick Guineas the other day, Rosehill Guineas today. He's a serious 3-year-old, this bloke.
Yeah, he can stay all day. He's very, very strong, you know. Probably going along the worst part of the going once again, but just too strong at the finish.
He's closer to the pace today. Was that the idea?
Yeah, well, we tried to ride him very closer because we didn't think the pace would be that strong. But, you know, he's strong and can really stay.
Pretty exciting.
$90 the trifecta, $291. Officially fourth, number 4 Caymans, $1,035. The running double.
Out to the line.
Yeah, he's got no brilliance horse. He's just a real dour horse. So I suppose the more racing he's had, he's getting a little bit more dour. He hasn't got any electrifying finish, but geez, he's genuine. He knows how to put his head out. And defend. I think the distance is going to suit, and that's half the battle with these 3-year-olds. He walks around with his head on the ground. He's like an old farm pony. He's a beautiful animal to do anything with. And
showing you that replay, you take a huge sigh there just for a stride or two. You look like you might be able to see it through, but Metal Bender was able to peg you back. Tell us in the home straight and coming up to the bend how you felt in the run with your horse.
Well, I was confident. I rode him exactly how the plan was to try and give him an easy time the first half, which I had a very easy time until about the 1,000 metres. And Peter said, now, you know, he didn't tie me down, but he said this horse really wants to be at his top. At the top of the straight, he said he can't quicken. He said if they're coming to you at the top of the straight, you no hope.
Look at the replay and talk about the National Willa situation here, Tez. He was charged and found guilty of not riding his mount out to the line, Nash. He was given a $2,000 fine and suspended from next Sunday following the Golden Slipper. He's on the Rock Kingdom. He just stops there for...
What do you run second, Richard, do you think, or hard to say?
Look, it's hard to say. It's only a nose, but it's perception. And I think it was, I'm not sure it's Nash's only one that can answer. Was it just a brain explosion or not? It's funny, he stopped riding for one bound, 1.5 bounds. That's all it was. Whether it would have made a difference, I'm not so sure.
I don't know what he sighted there. Maybe he saw the big screen and
thought that was the post, or
perhaps,
I'm not sure what happened.
Ended up getting a lovely run, and it was just a real slow and go, and horse ran enormous.
Yeah, I was a long way back, 600. I was sort of 12, 13 lengths off him and had to come out and make my own run into it. He ran really well to run on and only get beaten sort of length and a bit.
Let's have a look at the betting for the big one. We've got Metal Bender as the favourite. The format of the race yesterday, is that the form that's going to stand up in the Derby, Richard? It looks that way, doesn't it?
Well, they all say coming out of the Randwick Guineas, is that the right form for the Rosehill Guineas? Yep, the answer was yes, and most definitely that's the right form line. They're the horses to beat going into the Randwick Guineas, there's no doubt about that. Rebel...
By Metal Bender, he's the first horse. Well, he's chasing the Triple Crown. The last horse to do that was Octagonal. And I tell you what, he'll be mighty hard to beat too.
He will, and of course,
impression he gives you until they've got up over a distance, you never really know.
It's a huge bonus that he relaxes for you, though,
yeah,
isn't it?
And he's so laid back, going to the barriers. You know, you virtually have to push him around there, and he's just one of those horses that doesn't get revved up at all.
You know, you only went around one horse in the run there. It was a beautiful ride, and you were strong in the finish, which, you know, he's a horse that looks like he needs it. Is he a horse that needs strong riding to the finish?
Most definitely. I feel that ever since I've been riding this horse from a young age, you've got to sort of stand over him a little bit, just because he's so laid back and he looks after himself a little bit. Physically, he handles a bit of punishment, and he was very strong on the line again yesterday.
Near Rock Kingdom, you'll just notice Nash Rawilla gets to the line here. He's put his hands down there.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I'm still trying to work that out, whether it's fatigue or whether he was look, whether he's been wasting throughout the day. But it's not like Nash, and it's not like any jockey doing that in a Group 1 race. It was just a freak incident that it's hard to explain.
I don't think it cost him the win, but I
I
think it might have cost him second. And what's that?
Well,
50-odd thousand?
Yeah,
55,000?
And that's exactly why he's copped the suspension. He rides through till slip a day, but then he's out for basically 13 days and copped a $2,000 fine by stewards, and he won't be appealing.
Well, I think the simple fact that it was so close to the line, like, and it doesn't look good, and, pretty hard to put a case forward. Why?
First couple of runs. I think she's just about at her top here for this race. We just have to stay out of trouble. We'll be handy. We'll stay out of...
A question about that. And Belmer, what do we expect today?
It's a pretty tough race for her. She hasn't been one of those terrific race coming up. The Group 1 Schweppes Oaks at Morfordville. The top 8 in betting, Gallica, who just has a little nasty gait, but she is the class runner. And
Stakes, Estee in the market too at $5.80. She was the winner, of course, of the Adelaide Guineas, and a few of the others also there under double figure odds. But a Gallica.
And Oval Affair began well from gate 3, away nicely Estee, and near the inside, booting up presently Lamar with Rock and Rapture. Working forward is Miss Lily Rose, and caught out deep at the first turn. Gallica pressing on at the 1800. In behind those was Nandicott from Zvita. Outside of those, Sparks Fly. Getting back in the field now, Zavana. Being followed by Rapture. On the inside, Zavana. With them, Sparks Fly. From Ali Christina de Canio, then Zvita's Venezuelan Miss, and Tsar Purple's last by the 600 metres. And coming back to them now, Oval Affair, a length in front of Gallica. A length and a half away in third place was Miss Lily Rose. Starting her run, Estee on the outside, and Nandicott comes with her. And they've drawn clear of Lamar. A sprint now at the 300, and Gallica race to the lead from Oval Affair. Estee's giving chase on the outside. Newitt gets busy on Gallica. It's a length and a half in front of Estee, who's gone to a clear second from Miss Lily Rose. Gallica's hanging on from Estee. It's Gallica in the Schweppes Oaks clear, and the favourite's going to be too good. Gallica scored by 2 and 3, maybe 3 lengths on the line, in fact. Second in Estee, 3/4 away third, Miss Lily Rose. Photo fourth, Sparks Fly boxed on Will. And out wide's a Purple closed late. Close up, Venezuelan Miss Oval Affair and Svita and De Canio all in a group. Then came Lamar from Zavana. Then well back to Nandicott, who petered out from the turn from Ali Christina and Rock and Rapture with those.
The favourite takes out the Schweppes Oaks in Adelaide. Gallica, what a super filly she is. By Redute's Choice, another Group 1 winner for Redute's Choice.
On the Springer mix said, that's enough. I'm not going to push on towards VRC Oaks. She comes back in the autumn, wins the CUNY at a mile. She wins the Group 1 Oaks at 2000 in Adelaide. Now she comes to Sydney. Again, that's the measure of Mick as a trainer, to know where your limitations are at what time of your career.
What about going to South Australia? But we saw Zarita dominant last year, and she came to Sydney and she was over the top by the time she got there. Not saying the same will happen to Gallica, but it's, it's a bit of travelling to go from Melbourne to Adelaide. Obviously back home you would think, then to Melbourne and then come to Sydney.
It's only a fourth start, this preparation, and you didn't have that arduous Melbourne spring campaign. Yeah,
Zarita had it all the way through and then obviously continued to Brisbane.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Rich. She's favourite 2-1. Is the Purple, who ran on okay in that race. Now, Palazzo de Crystal, we saw.
Just didn't relax as well as Gallica did, and that told over the last.
That's the
50
filly to
metres.
beat in the Oaks. I just don't know whether you can do Adelaide, Sydney. Zarita tried and she couldn't do it. It's not easy
tough
to
to
do.
do.
It's tough, but she looks good.
Other feature rate.
I can tell you on track, Absolute Glam, $4.60 into $3.50. Belle Mary, 11 into 8. Good tip around for her, for Mick. And then we go down to Beaming, $7.50 into $6.50, back to $7. And of the others, we've got Symphony Miss reading out at around the $11 mark. And there's another one down the page too, which I'll get for you in just a moment. In fact, no, that's just disappeared on me. Just bear with me for one, Steve. Wow, what a race. Okay, that's the Robert Sangster Group 1 level.
And very short on the other totes, $4 on Unitab. Belmer, there's a bit of a tip around for her. She's good odds at 14 up for mine. Number 15, Champagne Harmony. The Kavanagh stable is up.
Jockey balances up on Flying Ruby. Racing in the Robert Sangster. And out wide, Viking Turf Bill Romney are out quickly, showing speed. Sugar Babe, St. Trinian's away will, Champagne Harmony. And starting to muster through was Belmer. Just behind those next over on the in Symphony Miss. Further back came Hidden Energy as they run by the 700 Serious Speed. Then beaming a long way back from Impressive Eagle, Exalted Keytar now last of all up to the turn at the 700 metres, and the leader Sugar Babe a length in front of Viking Turf Bill. In third place in the centre, Belmer, the inside Autumn Journey from Champagne Harmony, St. Trinian's Gabardon. Then came Absolute Glam, Romnea from Hidden Energy. Then Tranquility Base, followed by Kervinsky. Symphony Miss heads the others from Serious Speed at the 275, and quickly racing to a clear lead now. It's Belmer. Belmer under a hold from the rider, kicked away. It's three in front. In second place, Champagne Harmony running on. Then Absolute Glam, but Belmer is clear. She's run them off their legs. Belmer. Hidden Energy runs to second from Champagne Harmony. Serious Speed. Belmer stole it. Belmer 3/4. Hidden Energy second. Impressive Eagle flashed up, got third from Champagne Harmony and Romnea. Close up behind those, beaming but didn't get warm from Absolute Glam. Then Sugar Babe from Symphony Miss, Serious Speed, Kervinsky, St. Trinian's Gabardon, Autumn Journey, Tranquility Base, all in a big group. Followed home next by Flying Ruby Never In It from Exalted Keytar, and Viking Turf Bill was last.
The two Group 1s in Adelaide today go back to Victoria for Mick Price and Craig Newitt. Belmer, she takes out the Robert St.
Performance by Mick Price to get that horse to win first up at 1,200. Normally she's very good, but normally you'd say 1,000, 1,100, but at a very competitive Group 1 level yesterday at 1,200. And she was never going to get beaten. Great result there for Vinery Stud, for Neville Gibson, Syndicate, for Echo Beach, Alan Green and his team. She's a Group 1 winner now, and her job is done, even if she doesn't win another race.
Yeah, Peter Orton, Finery, he was there at Rosehill Gardens yesterday, and they went absolutely wild. Why wouldn't they? 1,000, 1,100, first up at 1,200 metres. It was a wonderful ride from an awkward gate, but he pinched it too. While the others were all working out where they're going to be, he got that 3 and 4 length break, and then he just nursed the winner. Good effort, Belmer.
Great trainer, Mick Price, isn't he?
Oh,
What a 40 minutes he had. He won with Gallagher.
Impressive Eagle was the horse getting home really hard that possibly can go on from there right down the outside. A good effort, and I saw Wolf Blush yesterday, and he's eager for a Group 1 win.
The winner there, Belmer.
A good race too. We've got the Jungle Hero Sprint over 1,100 metres. Dante's Volante. I know that Alf Matthews has got a very high opinion of that horse. And it's $1.40 in the next at Ascot. Now let's head off to more.
There you go. Lashino Formula Tyre won the start over Dante's Volante, and he's going to drop Eliotto in behind them and settle off the pace today with Northwater Boy back. Brings up the tail of the field. Lashino comes towards the 600 by 3/4 of a length. Running second, Formula Tyre, then a length and a half. Dante's Volante about to steer out around the heels of Formula Tyre for Noski, and Eliotto sitting right up onto his back, and then Northwater Boy. They're really sprinting hard at the top of the home straight, but Noski hasn't flinched a muscle on Dante's Volante. Quickly gathered in Lashino, Formula Tyre, Eliotto struggling behind them. He has not flinched a muscle. Dante's Volante put 3 on Eliotto, Lashino. Gee, this has been an impressive win. How exciting is this horse? 7 in a line, and he never moved on him. It was an exercise gallop. And Dante's Volante won it by 2.5 to 3 lengths, Eliotto. In behind them, Lashino, Northwater Boy for third, and Formula Tyre dropped out to finish at the tail of the field. You just simply don't see them win any softer than that. He was first up, and all Jared Noski had to do was pose for Scotty Holland's camera. 140, 110, and that has absolutely blitzed them. 103.49, just outside the record, and he was going half pace.
This in the Oakley Plate to beat Scenic Blast, and at the weights, I repeat, would have beaten it as far as I'm concerned. This is a very serious racehorse. It goes to the Goodwood Handicap in Adelaide, but have a look at that.
When's the Goodwood?
Absolutely untouched. The Goodwood's in May.
In May, yeah.
Takeover Target appears to be going there because I think a lot of people have forgotten the fact that it's set weight and penalties now, and Takeover Target's on track to go there after the TJ Smith. So
that'll be a good test for Dante's Volante. But I'll tell you what, they do produce a good sprinter out of Perth. There's no doubt about that. That horse couldn't have won any more impressively. And will win good races.
And Jared Noski's, I think, ridden it just about right all the way through, hasn't he?
Let's get to Darren for the Hyperion Stakes.
Oh, Legend Express got a great start too. He flew the gates. Mansion House quickly out. Had to be Clorker's going to drop back. And where's Marasco? There he is. He's up running about third as they settle down, pushing between horses, trying to cross Harvard and Captain Woodrow. Keita Money is next, followed by Tarzi, then Arroyo House and Keita Money, which is working double time. On the fence, Captain Woodrow fourth, and then came Marasco, just getting shuffled back a little between horses. Tarzi's going up to join him, so he's in a fair old pocket. And then came Arroyo Gold, Harvard and Haddaby Clorker, and they're tightly bunched. And this favourite is desperately looking for an out. In the straight, Legend Express led the way from Keita Money and Tarzi. Down the outside, Haddaby Clorker. There's still no run for Marasco. Here comes Haddaby Clorker coming at Tarzi. It's Tarzi, Haddaby Clorker now. Marasco gets clear, finishing full of running, but it'll be too late. And Tarzi's going to win the Hyperion. Tarzi beat the fast finishing Marasco. Didn't get a lot of luck in the straight. Haddaby Clorker third home from Harvard. Then Keita Money just felt the pinch after a torrid run from Legend Express. Arroyo Mansion House.
Unlucky the favourite, Marasco, wasn't he? He was looking everywhere for a run in the straight, and it wasn't until about the 100 metres that the run presented itself, but it was all over. And the horse had bolted, as they say, and Tarzi for Steve Parnham and Neville.
Yeah, we won't worry about that. Let's have a look at Nicanero Tuesday Joy in the duty free. Nicanero running best of the Aussies. It was a top run too.
Racing in the Dubai duty free, and Presvis from the outside, very slow to move. May have been by design. He's going immediately to the rail. Gladiatoris came out quickly. Vodka began well, and JPEG from the wide gate rushing forward. Paco Boy going forward with Bankable, Archipenko, Kip DeVille, Nicanero, Lady Marion, Crackador. Ballius out a little deeper as they settle fully into stride. Hyperbarics going around the outside. Then Charlie Farnes Bath in front of Alexandros Tuesday Joy. And Presvis now tacks on down the side of the course. Kip DeVille travelling deep. Then came Crackador, followed by Nicanero, Ballius and Lady Marion out wide. A length and a half to Charlie Farnes Bath. Paco Boy drifting back. Then Tuesday Joy in front of Alexandros, and Presvis will have to come from last as Alexandros is well back, and Gladiatoris leads them into the straight and slips away in the Dubai duty free. Gladiatoris is 5 lengths in front with 450 metres left to run. Vodka is second. Archipenko goes to third. Kip DeVille to the outside, and then Bankable. Gladiatoris the leader. Coming to the 250 metres mark. Ahmed Aketbi is riding hard. Gladiatoris in front of Vodka. She's giving away 5 lengths. The others are labouring. Gladiatoris in front. 50 metres left to go. Presvis is flashing home from the tail with Alexandros. All too late. Gladiatoris and Ahmed Aketbi is supreme. Presvis second, Alexandros third.
Yes, Nicanero finishing fourth, doing a great job after failing there last year. Had a travelling companion with him this year, and of course Tuesday Joy from the wide gate. She got back and finished at the tail of the field. Was it track bias, or has it been lack of speed in Dubai last night or early this morning, Richard? A lot of the replays all...
Let's talk about Nicanero. I think his effort was outstanding. He circled him, and super effort to run fourth. There he is. Terrific effort.
Yeah, good luck to them. They picked up a bit of money there, and
This is the Maya Tulloch Stakes, the Group 2 for the 3-year-old colts and geldings over the 2,000 metres. And Predatory Pricer, well, he's a real standout. We'll have a look at him very shortly. The half-brother to take over Target. He is the favourite.
He certainly is. Caroline, number 1, Predatory Doots is 4.20 to 4. Buffett, $7.50. Now, the horse that I mentioned, 4 back off a wet tracker, $21, now into $12. Back 100 to 1. Harris Tweed has not moved. Well, it's $7.50, solid. Old Jock, 16 to 13.
Willie Jimmy began a little bit slowly, went back to last of all. Rollins has got his head in front in the first 100 metres. The show's out from Dr. Dutz, is pulling his way forward along the inside to be right up there. He's going a bit keenly early here, Dr. Dutz. He's trying to get him to come back underneath him, but he's not doing that at the moment. Then we've got Buffett, Wembley out wide on the trackers, striding forward at the tail of the field along the rail. Coming up towards the 650, and the leader Rollins from Wembley. Dr. Dutz still parked away on the inside. Buffett's come off the bit at that point. He looks to be floundering a little bit in the ground. He's had to get to work on him, Oliver. Now he's picked up the bit a little bit. Then Predatory Pricer, Old Jock back off Harris Tweed as they turn for home. Into the straight, the leader Rollins, led from Wembley. Dr. Dutz is staying nearer to the inside. Old Jock's coming through. Buffett's going up and down on the one spot, and Predatory Pricer's down the outside, running up towards the 2, and Dr. Dutz went along the fence to join Rollins. Here come the sweepers from the back now. Predatory Pricer's winding up. Buffett still coming, and Harris Tweed and Old Jock. It's Dr. Dutz joined by Harris Tweed. Harris Tweed burst through, and Harris Tweed won it from Dr. Dutz and Old Jock. Then Buffett, who didn't look comfortable in the ground, from Predatory Pricer. Then Gigino Rollins followed further back behind them by Willie Jimmy. He was gone down the back straight.
Further back was
track in the first race, but it's very hard to line up. But he's one horse that will go in the going without doubt.
Of course, last year winning the Derby with Nom de Jeu, this horse will get its chance, Harris Tweed, to try and do it again. Kiwi result here, good for Harris Tweed and the Bakers. Old Jock for Kiwi running third, split by Dr. Doots. Rich, where do these fit in the Derby picture for you?
Well, I think probably the winner is a nice horse. I think you'll probably need a wet track to take on the likes of Metal Bender and the like, but then Metal Bender loves the sting out of the track as well. We lost one of our draw cards for the Derby, Mark, of course, with Tabik not running. And what will Peter Snowden do? We know Sousa goes there. Will Caymans bob up or not?
Not sure. I think he's probably going to head towards the Doncaster.
I think so too.
Caymans. I think out of that race, Buffett might be the one to follow.
Yep.
Just when they came off the bit near the 600, he
Old Jock. Yeah, I'm finding this race hard to read as far as the Derby points concerned, or the views concerned, with the two Kiwis first and third here, and they've looked like they've had some very, very hard recent racing. Maybe that.
Well, that's probably helped them.
That's probably helped them. Yeah.
You know, it's the survival of the last man standing. Sometimes.
I still like this horse though. I still like the way he hit the line. As
if he gets a wet track in the Derby, you want to give him a chance again. If he gets a dry track, well, you're exactly right. How do you read it?
And we see the 3-year-old fillies going round, as I said, the first of 5 big Group 1s on Amy Golden Slipper Day. The favourite is Gallica. She's fresh off a win in the Australasian Oaks. She's a $3.60 quote. El Quello Veloce, the Kiwi 5 into $4.60, and that is the main move.
was well supported earlier in the week when the rain came. I think they bet $6.50, $6 in the agencies, and into $4.40 now. Now firming to $4 on the ding, and Cool Dreamer went down on its nose at the start. Palacio de Crystal from Barrier 1 missed it as well. Bauble came out quickly. Purple's up vying for the lead early, and so too Love and Kisses. Gallica rolling forward, and so is Goldwater from an outside alley. Then Glow Lamp, Ivory Pegasus, El Quello Veloce is back behind them. Northern Dynasty a little bit wide into the first bend. Off the peg about midfield from Thick Money inside the 1,000, coming towards the side of the track. With about 900 to go, and the leader Purple by a length. Northern Dynasty straight up into second, Goldwater third. 2 to Gallica. It now moves up to join Bauble, then Ivory Pegasus, followed by Love and Kisses, and then came Glow Lamp. Further back was Think Money. El Quello Veloce is still a long way back, about 8 lengths off the lead, and then Disco Dancer, Palacio de Crystal, Surfer Rosa, Cool Dreamer, and LA Wonder. Coming to the home turn, and Purple steering out wide on the track as a clear-cut leader. And McAvoy's shot off the home now. She's a couple of lengths in front of Goldwater. She'll take some running down, this leader. Then Bauble, Gallica's just battling Ivory Pegasus and Love and Kisses. But down towards the 200, it's all Purple. She's 3 lengths in front of Goldwater. Then Gallica, Ivory Pegasus, followed by Glow Lamp. But Purple, she absolutely eats the mud. She's out in front with about 100 to go. Goldwater chases up, but Purple goes on to lead all the way. Beat Goldwater, Gallica third. Then Ivory Pegasus, El Quello Veloce, followed by Think Money. Then came Love and Kisses, Glow Lamp, Disco Dancer, Palacio de Crystal. Then LA Wonder off the peg, Cool Dreamer, Bauble, Surfer Rosa, and last in Northern Dynasty.
Well, we knew the going was going to play a big part here today, and it certainly has done that. With number 8 Purple, a good ride by Karen McAvoy, getting around.
Clear-cut evidence that number 8 Purple, she's an absolute wet track, and what a wonderful ride. It took a little bit of courage from Karen McAvoy.
I've had a horse to go on the race and with good chances and get down. It's a wet day, and you just go from a 64 chance to a 100 to 1 chance. But she's the exact opposite. Form hasn't been that good, but her runs have been okay. Ronnie Quinn got off for it.
Winner 2, Tri-Shell, a Group 1 winner, also the half. So close relation there to a couple of other good stays, Forum and also Estimable.
For Dahlia again there, and all the way for Purple. I think clearly accentuated by the fact she got her preferred ground yesterday, Daughter of Commands. Favourite Gallica just battled away, but I wouldn't be dropping off her towards the Oaks. Il Quello Veloce. Stewart's question Darren Beeben as to why he didn't improve from the 800-metre mark. He said he was trying to be patient to get her to run out the 2,000 metres, and the filly may have peaked on her run. But
in their speed maps, she was awesome yesterday and a deserved win. And I think it was a fitting moment too with John Ferguson and Ollie Tate and all and the big names in the daily operation in Sydney for Peter Snow to train 2 Group 1s. Special day.
Sporting bet market for the Australian Oaks, but a Purple here. Gallica favourite 380 to Zup Purple, who won in Adelaide yesterday, and Purple. Again, it's going to be getting down towards track conditions on the day, you would think, Mark.
Well, definitely, Purple will need a wet track to win. It's good to see Zara. I don't know. I think I might have gone off badly there. Very disappointing. Did get held up for a run at one part of the straight, but she hasn't really stepped up to the mark, has she?
A dominant wet tracker, Purple, but she's got no form. But
I don't think the field was overly.
Well, obviously not.
You
But
know,
like I say, another.
it's the best that's around at the moment, and well, you know that's all you can do is win. But you get this time of year, 3-year-old fillies. There are a lot of Group 1s around that, you know, they're suspect when it comes to.
This was very much an on-pace dominated race, and great vision by McAvoy to take up the running here, and a great training performance yesterday from Peter Snowden to just get the.
Portillo at $19 and Champagne Harmony at $15. The favourite, $3 into $2.80 now, Hot Danish.
Number one is Forensics, of course. A golden slip popular mare this is. Hot Danish, a lovely, big, strong mare by nothing like a day. And the Victoria Derby winner for Les Bridge.
She's only very good. On top of the ground, she's very, 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 very good. She's a superstar hot 3 gallant test, $8.50 into $8. Number 4, Nerily. The absolute mudlark, $8.50 into $7.50. 5 culminates at $5. 6 is out. 7 ready to lift, $41 into $31. Vietnam, $21 to $26. 9 is out. Number 10, Chinchilla Rose, $21 out to $31. 11's out. Number 12, Omananabar, 101 into $81. 13, Portillo.
Now, Hot Danish jumped on turns with them. Champagne Harmony, the filly, began quickly, and she's got a head in front. Hot Danish is starting to roll forward for Clark in the early stages to go up with the leader. And then we've got Chinchilla Rose just in behind them as they settle down. Culminate followed by Nerily. Gallant Test drifting back to midfield. Well, Clark has slowed them right down here in the middle stages. The favourite getting away with Larceny at the moment. Leads by 3/4 on Champagne Harmony. Chinchilla Rose is third. Culminate fourth. Gallant Test sliding up near the inside. Further back behind them next as they approach the home turn narrowly. Further back, Omananabar. Portillo's going to try and cut through into the inside, and then Forensics Vietnam. And back last of all as they turn for home, ready to lift. The leader is Hot Danish, shaken up, led by a length and a half. In advance of on the outside, Champagne Harmony, Chinchilla Rose. Further back behind them, Nerily starting to run on and then culminate. But Hot Danish is going well inside the 200. Nerily comes out of the pack and looks the big danger. Hot Danish in front. Nerily tries to get on turns on the outside. She sticks ahead in front. Nerily won it from Hot Danish. Third, maybe Omananabar, just in front of Chinchilla Rose. Then Forensics, Culminate, Gallant Test. Further back behind them, Portillo. And then we've got Vietnam well back, ready to lift, and Champagne Harmony's out the back last of all.
Another Group 1 for the Darley team, Pete Snowden. Darren Beedman on board. Narrowly takes out the Queen of the Turf. And that's just a super performance. Hot Danish, the Chinchilla Rose, and Omananabar. Rich?
Yeah, Omananabar will probably get there in the last bound to get Chinchilla Rose. What a star. Peter Snowden, the number one trainer for Darley Australia, and Sheikh Mohammed. He'd be over the moon, Bruce.
Absolutely, Rich. 2 Group 1s down today, both go to Darley, and we said before what an important day to do it. Group 1s any time, Pete, but it's a pretty good day.
Yeah, someone pinched me. That's incredible.
Fantastic. Watching the race, I mean, you had 3 to watch. What were your thoughts during the race?
Yeah, I thought Narelle was in the right spot, and Forensics was just starting to struggle a bit on the corner, but to her credit, she started to put her head down and really started to knuckle out after them. But I think the job was just too hard to do on this sort of track. I looked across at Narelle and I said Darren was being kind to her until the furlong, and when he gave her a squeeze, she found half length quickly. I thought, well, she's going to give this mare a run for money. Yeah? She did.
It's a great Group 1.
2. 34.98. She's broke 35 coming home, Caroline. This track's getting all right.
Yeah, it's not too bad, is it? The heavy 9, and it is good to see them.
Well, Nerily Beedman again there, giving Team Darley a Group 1 result. It was a big day for them. More on that shortly. But I know, Mark, you wouldn't be disappointed in Hot Danish's performance yesterday.
No, she did quicken up a little bit there at the 300, but when he asked her to go again, her legs were going everywhere. I think we saw that with a few horses yesterday. Real Saga was a
to hear Hot Danish. She quickens and gets away from the others. But you could always see the out-and-out wet tracker, which was Nerily. Like, you'd never think Nerily could beat Forensics or Hot Danish. Like
not at level weights.
Not at level weights, but she's an absolute swimmer like the stablemate Purple. And she was just able to get Hot Danish. I think that the hardest thing is for Hot Danish. Some people say, oh, she was disappointing. You got to remember is that she's just that good that she gets through the ground. On top of the ground, she's 5 lengths better than that. She's the one to...
I'm an Anabar.
Would you have thought that Nerily could beat Hot Danish at level weights? It's
yes.
You do?
Yeah. Weights mean nothing when you get informed mares on wet tracks.
Well, that's the good point. But gee, you wouldn't compare the two.
Well, I tell you what, you watch the replay of the Coolmore Classic. Nerili's run was the best in the race, running off a slow speed. I know she only had 52 kilos there or whatever she had, but she was a mare that relished the going. She was in the top of the game here, and she was very well backed all the way through betting. So.
And it's hard, it's hard to sit up and lead as Hot Danish did and fight it out on those heavy tracks all the way down the straight, which she did. Once again, a great effort from her. She's lost nothing in my eyes. She's still a fabulous mare who gives her best every start. But, just got ambushed.
She's my favourite mare.
And Ronnie, she's got to be a little suspect at the 1600, doesn't she, Hot Danish?
I'd have to say you're right. I'd love to think that she'd run the Ramwick mile right out and blaze away winning a Doncaster.
She certainly did.
I'm getting a little shaky, though.
What about the all-age? You'd like her there, wouldn't you?
Well, to be something to build.
2:15 now. The money is coming for the Melbourne Cup winner, the 5-year-old by Scenic, for Bart Cummings, and Dado Tan Chin Nam, the Brisbane Cup winner, on this sort of going, and he just put in a really good run in the Ranvet.
Bart Cummings, Caroline's one of our great trainers, 12 Melbourne Cups, and Bart Cummings' grand final day is the man to follow. This is grand final day for number one Viewed. He's 3 runs this time in the Apollo. Viewed. Number one Viewed, bet $2.25 today. Now into $2.10, was bet $2.80 on Wednesday afternoon. That was quickly taken by a few smart punters. So $2.25 into $2.10. It's been the best back run up. One, BMW, the best mile and a half weight for age race in the country. One Viewed, $2.25 into $2.10. 2 Thesio, $4.60 out to $5.50. 3 Master O'Reilly, $9.59 back to $9.50. Very much solid in betting. 4 Full Machino, $41. 5 Newport, $9 into $8 the New Zealander. And the bottom one, Zarita, $20.
Newport does. He got squeezed up at the start, but the jockey's still on board at the end of 100 metres. And it's Rita and Zarbeat showing out in front. From Thesio starting to roll forward on the outside, and Road to Rock's not all that far away. Looks like he's going to try and ease back into about 4 spot. A couple of lengths to Mr. Tipsy as they go past the judge the first time. Beedman boots up on Fumicino to go past a couple of runners. Viewed as over on the inside. 2 lengths to Master O'Reilly, Zagreb and Newport's out the back of the tail. As they go round the first corner and run up to the crossing at the 1800 metres, and Thesio's the leader by a couple of lengths, led by 2 on Fumicino, and Beedman still on the improve on it, going up to second now. And that will put Zarita back. The Scrubbed Heart is still back last of all at the 700. And the leader, Thesio. Fumicino on the outside, starting to creep a little bit closer now. Viewed is taken away from the inside. He's starting to go up into about 3rd or 4th. Newport cutting the corner. Master O'Reilly trying to do the same. And then Zagreb as they turn for home in the BMW. And the leader is Thesio. Fumicino up on his outside. He's putting the pressure on the leader. They've sprinted away about 3 lengths on Viewed coming down the centre. Newport going up on the inside, and then Mr. Tipsy. It's still Thesio. Thesio in front by a neck. Fumicino on the outside is trying to round him up. Thesio for Nash on the inside. Fumicino coming at him for Beedman. Beedman leaves Fumicino. He sticks his head in front of the BMW, and Fumicino goes on to win it. Won it from Thesio, and Viewed got 3rd. Then Master O'Reilly, Mr. Tipsy and Newport. A gap after those to Road to Rock, and then Zagreb and Zarita. At last in was Zarveach.
The former AJC Derby winner. He's back to his best. Number 4, Fiamicino, the great Darren Beedman on board. A great result, all connected there. Nick Moratis, we'll show you some shots of Nick Moratis celebrating. That is a wonderful performance by this horse. And Michael Wayne and...
What a wonderful ride, Darren Beedman. He took the initiative. He went forward on Fiamicino.
But Nick Moratis, hasn't he put a lot of money...
A marvellous effort, and the last 600 covered in 35.92. $24.10, $24.10 and $4.50 Fumicino. On track, 41 into $31. 2 Thesio at $2. 1 View to
the barriers, putting him into the race.
Yeah, he's a bit of a one-pacer, and I was sort of going to try and ride him a little bit cute, but he's not the type of horse that you can. Once he wants to roll, you let him go, and I was able to sort of slot in and get the trail the whole way, and in those stone races, they just plug away. And he's a fit horse, and Hawks, he had him right on the day.
The real an upstage BMW, Carney Johnny Hawks, Karata Storm, Freemason, long price winners. Now Fumicino finally back into the winner's stall And it was Beedman at his best again, Richie.
He made him race. You know, he's got into that little mode as a you know, those stayers and they got tricks up their sleeves. And Darren Beedman gave him a rip on the way to the gates. He got out of the gates, and he didn't, like he did a fortnight ago, he didn't let him relax and get back. Yesterday, Beedman said, "Big fella, we're going to race today." He shook him up, made him race, and then he became competitive again, and he showed what he could do. He's been on 2 tracks that have been bottomless in his career, Mark. The AJC Derby at 3 and yesterday.
Yeah, and I think he won a maiden at Kembla before that on a heavy 2 going into the Derby, a couple of runs before the Derby. I heard John Hawkes on radio saying, he slips and slides on it, but I think when he gets to the really heavy, that's when he comes into his own.
What'd you make of Thessio and Viewed?
Thought Viewed was disappointing. I thought he was close enough in the run, and when he popped him out near about the 600, I thought he was within striking distance, but he was very one-paced up the straight, wasn't he? And, Thessio's tough. He kept grinding to the post. We know he gives his all every time, and he did again yesterday, but he just found the other horse a bit stronger at the 24.
Yeah, he was good, Thessio. He was. I thought Viewed was most disappointing, and to say,
he gave me a beautiful ride and a good kick, and had the track been good, I reckon he would have won by 3 or 4 today. That's how he felt and how he ran. But
early, but towards the Sydney Cup, Fumicino and Master O'Reilly with Sporting Bet Australia equal favourites, $6.50 each of 2. Of course, the market changing with the news of Moatees is out.
Yeah, that was the big news. He looked the horse all the way along, Moatees, didn't he, Clarkie? His run was...
And Darren Beedman just read this race so beautifully. You know, like he's just a master of making a decision. He's a big enough man to make a decision in a race. He doesn't mind disobeying instructions, and more than often it pays off. Who would think? This race is... Look, I think the Hawks is up set in this race before. Remember Freemason beating and Northerly?
Yes.
And remember Curator Storm.
Curator Storm.
They trained the one that you had?
No, that was a Rosehill Guineas Sailor Century.
It can throw up a result like that, probably because it comes off the back of the Australian Cup, where a lot of the horses that are this class and can win at this distance go there. Sometimes they come back to Sydney tired. You get a horse like this that's hits his purple patch at the right time, and away he goes. And look, he's obviously a talented horse, but the jock. They didn't even tie him down with instructions. They said, just ride him wherever you think he's comfortable. And
why would
what
you?
a beautiful ride.
Yeah, he's pushing up for the Doncaster. A little disappointed with the favourite, Viewed, but he's... Why? Well, he was disappointed because he was an even money favourite.
Yeah,
and he was expecting to win the race. But the tempo was definitely against a horse.
Well, because that's weight for age tempo, that. I mean, his biggest win is at handicap.
Okay, and fair point.
Perhaps that's where he is.
It's very hard to place in a handicap now, though.
Well, he is,
Yeah, talking with Bart this morning, that's it, no more.
End of the yard. This is the George Ryder Stakes, and what a great race this has been. A weight for age race, another Group 1 here on this massive day of group racing. Over the $1,500 and for 10 Group 1s. All these horses going around here. All Silent, $4.40. He's one of them. And another one is Who Begot You. He's also $4.40, Richard.
Yeah, Caroline, this is a cracker. 2 All Silent is a heavily backed favourite. $4.60 into $4. $4.60 into $4. 3 Pompey Ruler. Here it is. Number 8 Serrera. The Mudlark. 3 from 3 on a heavy track. $51 the bookmakers put up at Rosehill. They've asked for any Bob the Builder or handyman around the area to come and help. Now $12. $51 into $12. Number 8 Serrera. Been a very big go here on track. 9 Vision and Power. Good money for Vision and Power. 16 into 11. Low $1. 13 Who Begot You. 460 to 550. Northern Meat, big move for the roughie. Serrera. 51 into $12.
That is a matter. Pompey Ruler missed the start slightly, and so did Largo Lad, and the grey light fantastic came out quickly. Well, he's pulling out all stops on Northern Meteor, driving to the lead in the early stages, and Northern Meteor took up the running. King Mufasa will follow him across to second. 2 lengths to Light Fantastic, and then Fravashi followed by Triple Honour. Alamosa's on the outside, then the stablemate Pompey Ruler. All Silent settling about Meek Field, and then Vision and Power Lad. They go round the first corner, and Northern Meteor set back on the steel, led by a half. King Mufasa second. Light Fantastic getting a good run behind them in third, and then Fravashi sitting out wide on the outside of Triple Honour. Vision and Power going up hard up against the inside from Pompey Ruler. Alamosa. All Silent still midfield, and then Serrera. Well back was Black Piranha. Who Got You still only has 2 behind him, and they are Largo Lad and also Latorio. Northern Meteor the leader. They swing for home in the rider, and he's the leader from King Mufasa. Triple on a Vision and Power. Light Fantastic is next, and then All Silent is trying to wind up. King Mufasa has raced up to take the lead in the rider for Sam Spratt. Raced away from Northern Meteor. Light Fantastic. Black Piranha and All Silence running on. King Mufasa's in front. He's getting a little bit weary. Black Piranha's coming through with Vision and Power. Black Piranha, Vision and Power got him on the line. Vision and Power tipped out Black Piranha. I'm not sure third or Silence out wide with Triple Honour and King Mufasa and Largo Lad coming quickly. Then we've got in behind them Northern Meteor Serera, followed by Pompey Ruler, Fravashi, Light Fantastic, Alamosa, Who Got You. And last in was Latorio.
Back-to-back Group 1s for Nick Moratis, this time with Joe Pride. What a great training performance by Joe. With this improving horse, Vision and Power, Jimmy Cassidy, the winning rider, he steered through on...
Yes, Joe, what a remarkable result.
Just amazing. I mean, it looked like he was battling along the inside there, and all of a sudden he's hit top gear. And he's just run him down. I'm so happy for I'm happy for Nick and everything else. But Jimmy, 100 Group 1s, fantastic. And I'm glad to be the one to give it to him.
Great result.
Yeah, he's not too badly treated in the Doncaster with 51. I had the blinkers up my sleeve. I'm not sure I need them.
So you were talking about or thinking about using blinkers on him?
Yeah, definitely. Look, he didn't win a race until I put him on last preparation. I think maybe we're dealing with a different horse.
Well, what is it about him, though? I mean, can you put a finger on what's transformed him to any extent?
Well, it's hard to. Honestly, I can't. I'd love to give you some miracle answer. Honestly, this horse, he's just a different horse now. He just wants to win so much.
Birth of your child, is it? You keep putting it down to that.
This is a dream come true. It's like a fairy tale. These things just don't happen. Never did I have expected to happen to me, nor did I ever thought I'd win a Melbourne Cup, nor a Cox Plate, nor a Caulfield Cup. You know, I just thank God for it because it's just been unbelievable.
Bet you didn't think you'd come here and win with Fumicino and Vision and Power, 2 Group 1s on the hardest day of the year.
You know what, Bruce? A lot of people...
He was well back. And Clarkey, he's a fitting champion, Jimmy Cassidy. His 100th Group 1 victory.
Yeah, and as you said, Richie, I'm sure he's...
I don't know what to say. I'm a bit speechless for a change.
My Pride's done with his horse to get him now to win a George Ryder Stakes at Group 1 weight for age. What a job he has done.
Look, I'm speechless. He's completely turned a horse around that was a handy midweek Saturday class maybe to a Group 1 winner. Look, Joe Pride, he's a freak. If you got a slow one and you wanted to go fast, give it to Joe.
Good on you, Jimmy. Well done.
Your third, All Silence out.
Jimmy, in the George Ryder on Vision and Power, $16 to 11. Bets landed. Black Piranha, terrific race, terrific running second. But the story of the race, of course, was Jim Cassidy and his 100th Group 1 with Vision and Power.
Yeah, well, Bruce, he's won all the majors. Of course, he won the Golden Slipper on Ha Ha. Might and Power gave him a Caulfield Cup, a Cox Plate, Diatribe in the Caulfield Cup, Tiwi in the Melbourne Cup, as well as Might and Power. He's won all the majors. And 100 Group 1s. He's the pumper. He's been a superstar rider for so many years. And, well, of course, he said the other day it was his wife's birthday, Vicky, and he said, I would love to win the Group 1 for her. He got the money yesterday. And, Mark, he looked gone at about the 1,490 metre mark. He looked gone 10 strides after the barriers jumped.
A remarkable finish. Last year we had Weekend Hustler beating Racing to win. This year we've got Vision and Power beating Black Piranha. It's not the same ring, but you can't believe these two horses have run 1, 2 in a Group 1 race, can you?
Yeah, what a job Joe Pride's done.
And Concara Chrysanis as well with the second horse. He was unlucky behind All Silent, ran a great race and he backed it up again yesterday.
He was fantastic yesterday. Vision and Power, trained by Joe. Vision and Power, trained by Joe.
They split up the straight and I got a nice run through the best going of the track and hit the front about 50 out and they'll pump me right on the line.
You have a great sight though.
Hasn't raced in 2 months' time and going 1,500. It was a huge effort and I think a bit of track would have suited him, but no, I was wrapped.
Did he get through the ground?
No, if it was 1,400 metres, it probably would have been a little bit better for him, but no, he's going to be very competitive.
He ran well, Bruce. He was another one that was a bit disadvantaged by the heavy track. He just dulled his real strong finishing burst. He still worked home well, but not as electrifying as he is on top of the ground.
I think he's on track for the Doncaster, and the
third and fourth last, and the pace had slackened off. I was up behind All Silent, and sort of about the 700, the 600, they sprinted off and they went forward, and I really didn't have much places to go. All Silent was running up behind him, and he was sort of running a bit of trouble, so I had to come out and come around and
when I put him under pressure, he just sort of floundered that bit and he just couldn't really fit. You know, he tried his hardest and he worked home okay, but he's definitely a lot better on top of the ground.
Well, Michael Rod looking forward for the Doncaster. I suppose, Mark, to some extent, is it we take that form as form for the Doncaster. I mean, All Silent didn't really get through the ground. Who got in the wrong spot. King Mufasa ran well. There's going to be a lot of change weight-wise and so on heading towards the Doncaster.
Well, you see, we've raced at Rosehill for 3 weeks in a row. We've had a couple of wet tracks there. So, you know, maybe that track was topping out. We get to Randwick where they haven't raced on for such a period of time, and then we get different track conditions. So I think All Silent, we can take that his was a good run.
I thought coming out of yesterday, and we'll see one in
Doncaster Mile, thanks to Sporting Bet. What a race it's going to be. All Silent, top of the tree, $5 ahead of Who Begot You at 6. Hot Danish, 7. And you're out to $14 about Light Fantastic, who ran okay yesterday. Caymans, Forensics, $15. Black Piranha, Alamosa, King Mufasa, Solo Flyer.
Amazing rags to reach a story here.
What do you say? Look, 12 months ago, if you said Vision and Power will win the George Ryder, will win a wait for age race, you'd have
one wait for age race.
You'd have him in a straitjacket, and you'd throw the key away. But look, Joe Pry's just done
hasn't he, Joe?
An unbelievable job with this horse to get him where he is. And Jimmy Cassidy, I don't know whether it is official, its correct weight, whether it's his 100th Group 1. I think they're still trying to find some of the New Zealand ones.
Well, who cares anyway?
That's right.
He's been a great jockey, and he's back in great form.
Yeah.
You know, he's back in great form, which is fantastic. The corner, it probably would have won.
I tell you, All Silence on target.
Yeah, well, he's on target. It's very hard to read. Some of these horses, you don't know. It was their first, All Silence first go at a heavy track. Who Begot You, who I read in the Stewards report, had a poor post-race recovery and was sore behind. So a little wary with that report leading into a Doncaster. I like Largo Lad up the inside here. He's doing very good work late. He's a chance in a Doncaster.
But not as good as All Silent. All Silent hasn't put a foot wrong yet. He has not.
I love work past the post, and look at Largo Lad getting. He's getting mobile there after the one. And you need a strong horse for a Randwick Mile,
and the big track will suit him at Randwick, because it's probably round about the same as Rosehill.
I'm still convinced. 1.5 kilos between
4 kilos.
4 kilos between All Silent and Largo Lad in the Doncaster in favour of Largo Lad. What do you think?
Well, he's earned it, All Silent, hasn't he? He's a Group 1 winner. He's earned that weight. I don't think he's a good, strong horse. They're both good, strong horses. I think he'll carry it and go very well. I still want to be on All Silent because he's been there and done it. I'm still not convinced about Largo Lad.
For the $3.5 million race, the world's richest race for 2-year-olds, Real Saga 420 ahead of More Joyous at 460, Rich.
Yeah, the atmosphere's electric here at Rosehill Gardens. The Amy $3.5 million Golden Slipper. We're about to have the introduction of all the jockeys to the crowd here, right? Who will be presented to the crowd here on track. Real Saga, the favourite, has been $5 into $4.20. Very heavily backed. Let's go to the parade ring and Channel 9's Andrew Voss.
The countdown going in earnest to the running of the 2009 Amy Golden Slipper. A field of...
There he is. He's the Sporting Bet market mover in the Golden Slipper. $5 into $4, just getting back to $4.20.
20 on course, and the tote's trimmed up from $7 into $4.8. Now we've got Delago Bold in the stalls. More Joyous comes up, and Indian Ocean about to make its way into the gates. Bowman's hopped off Indian Ocean. Is also coming for good support on track 17 into 12. Gates crashed back. They're off and racing. Delago Bolt missed it by a length. Horizons came out quickly on the outside, took the early lead and cut right across the lead from Reward for Effort and Manhattan Rain. Indian Ocean next. He's going forward on More Joy. She's cutting up into about second or third spot now. Zickman going with it, and then came Melito. Indian Ocean now drifting to be about midfield, followed by Rostover. So anyway, seemed to get a check and lose a length, followed by Headway Delago Bolt. Real Saga's run off his legs early. He's back in front of only about 4 or 5 runners. Wanted's back with him with Feeling Ready. And then Mark Porter now, Joan of Arc last of all. Beeman's taken More Joyous to the front in the Golden Slipper. More Joyous will lead for home from the stablemate Horizons. Reward for Effort and Zickman. Then came Indian Ocean on the inside, followed further back behind them by Manhattan Rain and Melito. Real Saga's trying to go up along the inside, but it's still a mile back. Reward for Effort took over now from in second spot, More Joyous. And then we've got Feeling Ready, who's coming right through along the inside. Feeling Ready has gone through, and now some sweepers are coming wide. Headway and Manhattan Rain, but it's Feeling Ready. Feeling Ready's got the slipper at his mercy.
Feeling Ready won it. Photo second and third, Manhattan Rain or Headway. Then Real Saga, So Anyway. Followed by Mark Ward and Delago Bolt. Then Melito. Back and behind them, Reward for Effort, Indian Ocean. Well back behind them next, we've got Horizons, Ross Dover Wanted. Then More Joyous, followed further back by our Joan of Arc. And Zickman's out the back last of all.
The Magic Millions winner takes out the Golden Slipper, Feelin' Ready, and also a double for the Sire to More Than Ready from Vinery, a big sponsor today. Feelin' Ready has taken out the Amy Golden Slippers.
People didn't think he could win. I suppose they come from New South Wales, but the Queenslanders all supported him, and wonderful thing for Jason at his stage of his career, and he's working really well with me, and it's just a great thing. You seem to have this, Matty. He got into the Magic Million by the skin of his teeth and won it, and he got into the slipper by the skin of his teeth and won it. He's got a training dynasty.
And we see Brad Rawiller now just unsaddling Feelin' Ready, the Magic Millions and Gold.
All week, or the past 2 weeks, you've been talking this horse up and still no one listened.
Yeah, it's just incredible. What more can a horse do? I mean, his Magic Millions win was awesome. I mean, where he was on the corner was where Real Saga was in the Blue Diamond, and yet he got up and won. And you know, then fair enough that you know he hasn't raced against them top liners, but his trial against behind More Joyous was super. We were always going to need that for that first up run, and then the first up run we were always going to need for this run.
You took the ride.
Followed by Mark Ward.
Brilliant ride by Brad Rawiller. Fantastic result for the team, and we're joined also by Jason McLaughlin. Jason, a great result for yourself and your dad yesterday, but you went in like Brad, pretty confident that you could pull it off.
Yeah, look, the horse is always, like promises so much and had so much ability. I rang Brad 2 months ago and Dad said to me, you happy to have him on the horse. And I was wrapped him on the horse actually, but we spoke 2 months ago and I committed him 2 months ago and I said, this horse honestly can win the slipper. And, as much as I love Richie, he said the Magic Million form doesn't stand up. But I mean, like we're here now and we won the slipper and it's unbelievable feeling when it with my dad, yeah.
Yeah, that must be the key to it, though, isn't it? With your father, you spent some time here in Sydney. You were basically training privately, and your dad gave you a call to come back.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, if I could describe in words, the feeling, family's everything, mate. Like me and Dad are working in great together, and it's a great thing too. I'd also like to this win. It's a square up, but I mean, it's still not as good as you saying that the Magic Million form's third rate. Because we've come out and won a Golden Slipper.
That's 2 times.
It's the only big race Bruce McLaughlin hasn't won, but now he's won it. And you did say the form was third rate, so I've got to square up there with you.
I was the first to congratulate you. I couldn't have backed him at gunpoint, but he didn't just win, Jace. He blew him away. He was dominant.
He did, mate. Like, he's, honestly, he's just an exceptional galloper, and full credit to the horse. And look, he went, like, Brad had to go back in the barrier, but he went back to last, and he's rounded him up. And like, no one can have any excuses, mate. In all seriousness, even the thing you tipped.
Up at 3 now.
Those were beautifully, Bruce. But when I really asked for the acid test, I felt he was probably didn't let down like I know he can. But in saying that, a lot of them were making heavy weather of it, and he seemed to be able to at least get through it.
Struggling to get going in the heavy going, and he couldn't quicken at the top of the straight. He got going good again late, but yeah, when the whips were cracking at the top of the straight there, I just struggled to get momentum and get going.
Best part of his race was that last 50 or so metres, wasn't it?
Yeah, even the last 200 was strong, but yeah, his wheels kind of spun a bit at the top of the straight.
Yeah, run was terrific, Bruce. You know, should be an order.
Darren went forward on.
Yeah, the reason why I did that was because cantering to the gates, I gave her a nice canter and she just didn't handle it going to the gates. So I thought, well, I've got to put her into the race to try and get her confidence going. And she just, it's either black or white today. Either you handle it or you don't. So, and to me, she just, when I had to let her off the bridle, she just wouldn't let go.
The same horse as you rode 2 weeks ago.
No, completely different.
It was a hard luck story. It comes from Delago Bolt, but it was history yesterday. Dan Ciro, the first horse to come through the Magic Millions to win both the Magic Millions and the Golden Slipper. And Feeling Ready won the Magic Millions with a different jockey. It was Jason Stubby Holder, and you made mention yesterday, Brad, that you felt for him and his situation after that horrible fall in Queensland.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's for Jason, you just can't say enough of how hard it must be winning the Magic Millions, and
how much you liked it. You tipped it to Brad 2 months ago. Did anyone get any decent odds here?
Like Matthew Snellich is my accountant. when you're my accountant, you can talk to me about that, right?
That's a yes, Richard. I'd like to take evens. It was. I'd like to take even.
When I 200 from home, I knew I got to the front of it a little bit soon. But yeah, on straightening, I hadn't asked for him yet, and my feeling was I'm going to win a golden slipper. I was that confident, and 200 from home, I'm thinking, what am I going to do for me salute?
How much is it going to cost me?
got to the line and I got stage from it. Didn't know what to do.
When did you start cheering, Jace? Because you can go early.
Yeah, mate. No, I didn't say a lot till about 10 yards out because I thought this is the golden slipper, so I didn't go too early for once.
Jace, thanks.
Real Saga?
Real Saga, I'm convinced didn't handle the going. He paraded like a winner. I've never seen the horse look any better. He hadn't gone backwards, and there's no doubt he did. He just did not accelerate in the going.
Headway continues to make headway. Just continues to improve.
Incredible.
More joyous?
More joyous. Her coat had gone to pieces. I think she was delicate going into the race, and she burnt there on the grand final day. There was a suspicion leading into the race. There was, little vibes around, and she raced accordingly. Few people critical of Darren's ride. I couldn't be one of them after she finished that far back. There was an unlucky horse in that race, a horse called Delago Bolt. He suffered interference early. He tried to get up inside a horse in the straight there, Indian Ocean, that Hugh Bowman was on, and had no luck whatsoever. He should have figured in the thick of prize money there, Delago Bolt. Look at him on the inside, the baldy-faced horse. This has been happening for 200 or 300 metres, and look, the bird's flown now.
And it missed the start.
And then got interfered with where Williams was suspended.
Rostover never sort of really got into the race, and there's very few excuses for horses outside the winner in there. I mean, Delago Bolt was one, but there's not a lot for the rest of them.
Hard to read when you get heavy tracks, 2-year-olds for the first time.
Yeah.
And Ascot for